until you were part of it for a long, long time, you didn't really belong. You know what that feels like? To not belong. To let people know, oh, wait, until you have 3 generations here, you can't even think about being... I grew up in a state where they had these bumper stickers that had the little front range that looked like the license plate, right? And you would buy a thing that says, native. I wasn't born in Colorado. I spent most of my life there, but I wasn't a native. We like that, don't we? As if somehow, some way we can take credit for where we were born. You made a good choice being born here. You did good. You scored high on the boarding thing. Boarding thing, that's some good English. You did really good. You picked a good place to be born. Well done. Feel good about that. What is it? I was teaching this class at a university, and I actually asked them, if you were born in Iraq, how many of you would be Muslims? None of them raised their hand. I said, come on, guys, seriously. How many of you would be Muslims if you were born in Iraq? No, not me. Not me. I said, come on. Do you really think that somehow all 35 of you could figure out that the way you are right now is the best way to be if you were born in this country? Oh yeah. What is it? What is it about us and our bragging rights? I figured this out. Not only I figured it out, I figured it out more than Ken. I figured it out better than Norman. I'm not quite as good as Steve, but I figured I'm in there. I'm trying. I'm working at it. This is funny because it doesn't say that you have to have more faith than somebody else. All you need to be justified in Jesus is faith. Right? Not more faith than Dorian. No. Not more faith than Ann. You just need to have faith. But I'm better at this faith than you are. You know that? That's because, I mean, look, they've given me a title. I have a robe. Watch out, I'll go get it. I know how to use it. Reverend. Yeah. That means I'm better at faith than you are. Okay. Oh, I got more though. I've got more. No, wait. I've had it longer. I've studied it more. What is it about boasting rights? What is it? It is a deficit of feeling loved. How do I know that? Well, in the midst of all those boasting things that Paul talked about in 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians, when he's talking about love, he says, love does not boast. It doesn't boast. When you find yourself boasting, you need to stop and say, why am I not feeling loved? Why am I not feeling loved enough that I can't talk to this other person without talking to about myself? Why am I not feeling loved enough that I can't stop comparing myself to somebody else? Why am I not feeling loved enough? And you know the answer to that? You haven't been listening to Jesus. You haven't been spending time with Him. You haven't been sitting next to him. You haven't been sitting in his lap. You haven't been close to him. You have not realized how much he loves you. And it's not because you're an American. It's not because you're white. It's not because you're black. It's not because you're rich. It's not because you're poor. It's not because you're Gentile. It's not because you're Jew. Because he loves everybody and he's capable of doing that. And we're not. Guess what? He's not like us. He's not like us. And we would rather be like him than for him to be like us, wouldn't we? Wouldn't you rather have God being holy instead of God being like? Where then is boasting? Where? It's excluded. It's excluded. Where then is this deep feeling of love from Jesus? Here it is. In the Lord's Supper. I've done it for you. I've taken care of it. You mean so much to me individually that I want your level of feeling love to be so high that you don't have to talk about yourself anymore. That you can focus on somebody else. You can focus on making them feel loved because you feel loved. So what if you're not feeling this love? You need to admit you're missing something. You need to admit, I have got a deficit. I need something. I can't stop talking about myself. I can't stop worrying about what other people think about me. I can't stop comparing myself favorably or unfavorably to somebody else. I can't stop. You've got a deficit. You're not feeling loved. And I'm sorry. Because your Creator wants you to feel so loved. And if you've been coming to Southside, and you've been here and you've been studying and you've been part of things and you still have this deficit, I'm sorry. We desperately want this to be a place that's safe for you to feel loved. For you to come and just fill your well and say, wow, I am loved by my Creator. I have a Savior who loves me so much that you can go out and just let it slosh over the sides. And people can feel it sloshing over the sides. That you can go out and let people feel loved yourself. No boasting rights. You got to give them up. It's excluded. It's not about you. It's about Jesus. And if you want to feel loved, then you look at Jesus. And if you want other people to feel loved, then you point them to Jesus, because that's the source of it. And this is where you can get over that deficit. Chapter 3. We all have sinned. We are all justified freely through faith in Jesus. All of us. All of us. And there's enough love to fill up your well. Every well here. So you can quit boasting. This morning, if we can help you, if we can help you in any kind of situation where you are not feeling loved, if we can help you deal with something that's stopping you from feeling loved, we offer an invitation. If you just need someone to put their arm around you and tell you you're loved, just let us know, because you are loved, and I'm so glad you're here. And what your Creator wants from our time together is for you to feel loved. And what your Creator wants from us taking the Lord's Supper together is for you to feel deeply, fully loved.